Ladies and gentlemen, let's go. Gaming, tech, culture. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go. You're listening to the Cool Black Nerd Podcast, presented by Say What Radio.
Welcome everybody to the Cool Black Nerd Podcast. This is episode number 5. We are playing Destiny 2 again. We're going to try to record it and stream it to you guys on YouTube.
Well, we're trying Twitch this time.
Twitch is where we're going to stream it to. Appreciate everybody for listening. As you know, we talk about gaming, tech, culture, whatever else I think is cool. And this week it's only right we talk about Game of Thrones.
Well, Jules, you want to say who's here and introduce yourself and all that there?
See, I mean, you introduce yourself.
Oh, well, damn. All right. As usual, Justice here being sidelined. And he's not a special guest this time. He's with us on the team this time. So, Dre D.
Dre D, all right.
It's just, okay, not going to even say nothing.
It's just
all right, then.
Quiet, we're going to keep it moving. Anyway, so Game of Thrones finale was last week. The week before was episode 5. I think we should probably start there because that's where I think a lot of people ended up with some sort of controversy. People filling out petitions demanding that the 8th season be rewritten entirely.
I think it got up to like 1 point something million signatures. I was like, what do you expect? It took them 2 years for this. Are you serious right now?
Oh, they're serious.
I think they are serious, but I have a thought about why they're serious. I think people are just mad because the story wasn't what they wanted. I don't think they actually have a problem with the writing or that the season itself was actually bad. They wanted Daenerys to not be the Mad Queen.
Well, that is one of the points, but it was another point that people were just saying that the writing just was not up to par like it was for George R.R. Martin's books. And I'm like, it never necessarily was to that level, which is why the show was so intriguing to a lot of people, because you could see what George R.R. Martin was actually trying to do in there, but it wasn't specifically what he was trying to do.
How do they compare the writing of George R.R. Martin if he didn't even do the last
the
books?
Exactly.
So how do you even know how his writing would be for those last books?
But that is their argument, basically saying since they did not have a map, they didn't know where the fuck to go, and they just kind of put shit together.
Okay, now see, that's where I had to disagree with them. Because you thought season 7 was great. There was no map for season 7.
Well, if you notice the drawing that they drew of how the Game of Thrones seasons went, I don't know if you saw it, but it was like a drawing of a horse, and like the horse's backside was like seasons 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then you had like the middle part of the horse is like season 5 and 6, all drawn out very well. And then they have like a stick figure for a head, and it's like season 7 and 8. That's the way they have it.
I don't know. I mean, I guess, but I still feel like they're saying whatever they want to say about the writing. It's really because everybody wanted Daenerys to be the hero. Turns out she wasn't. I honestly 100% feel that way. I think 90% of the people who signed that petition are the people who named their kid Khaleesi or Daenerys, or they got a Dragon Queen tattoo, and now they upset that she's not the hero.
He said a Dragon Queen tattoo.
I'm being honest. That's how I feel. I think it was actually pretty well done. I think that they foreshadowed Daenerys becoming the Mad Queen pretty well. I think everybody had their hero moment, and I think they stayed true to what Game of Thrones is, as in the story is the story.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's no hero necessarily. Nobody is in. I mean, there are people that were inherently good or evil, but everybody was nuanced. Everybody did good things. Everybody did bad things. I mean, I guess you could say, yeah, the Stark family as a whole ended up being the winners, but it's not that this person is always good, therefore they're always
gracious.
They always come out on top.
Yeah.
No, they definitely took them a while to get up there. They suffered more than any other family.
Yeah, they definitely did. Another thing I want to point out, man, I really enjoyed the cinematography in the last episode. Like that shot where Daenerys is walking out, before she gives that speech, and then the dragon's wings open up behind her. I was like, yeah, honestly, that probably just solidified to me how good everything actually was.
Mm-hmm.
To see that moment and what that moment to me meant. Like that was showing like she's full on fire and blood, like she said she was going to be in season 1 or season 2, I think. She said, I'm going to take what's mine by fire and blood. And damn it, that's what she did.
They couldn't do this in like at the end of the last episode to let Grey Worm enjoy his promotion for more than 5 seconds.
Hey, man.
He got promoted for like 5 seconds before she died.
Hey, sometimes it happens that way. He definitely got fired on his lunch break.
His day off.
No, it wasn't even his day off. That was his lunch break. After he got the promotion, he got fired.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh,
Bro was
man.
all smiling. Oh, shit, I'm master of war. Daenerys dead. What am I now?
I'm the head jailer in chief. That's all I can do is put people in jail now.
Oh,
I
man.
will say that it was just, I guess, because people were expecting to be more ostentatious, just out there, the whole thing with Ned Stark being killed off so quickly, which was already in the book. I guess they were thinking that it would be something like that. But honestly, I really don't think that people are understanding. If you make the series like that, then when he comes out with his books, nobody's going to read that shit because you saw the series. So I'm pretty sure that's one of the reasons why they did that. And there's pretty much more shocking stuff that comes in the books than there ever was in the series. And people would then be like, see, George R.R. Martin did it right. It's just like,
yeah, but he also now has the advantage of seeing everybody hate whatever it is they didn't like in the TV show.
I don't think you can please them. I really don't.
I would agree. I don't either. And again, like I said, for me, it just comes to, honestly, I really feel like people are not actually upset with the show or with the story other than the person that they wanted to be the hero wasn't the hero, or something specific that they wanted to see didn't happen. And honestly, I think that's a testament to how well or how great the show was in general, for people to be so invested in a character that you're willing to throw the whole show away because that character didn't become the hero that you thought they were going to be, or they did such a good job ingraining that this person is something that they're not. Honestly, while leaving clues that she probably was a little too brutal to actually be the queen. Like, let's not forget that when she freed the slaves of Marine, what did she do to the slave masters? She didn't kill them. She crucified them, like used them as street signs to get into the city. Like, she didn't. So it's not like she just all of a sudden became this brutal, like kind of ruthless person. Like, she's always been that. What did she do to the cows, the kings of the Dothraki, before she became the only queen? Like, they were all in a hut. She burned them all together.
yeah.
So,
and like Tyrion said, granted, they would have done much worse to her, but she still did it.
She still did it. Yeah.
I really think that most of the things that people were, I guess, a little bit pissed off is it's because Missandei, and I can never say his name right. The one that was in love with her.
Grey Worm?
No.
Oh, Ser Jorah?
Yeah, I can never say that right. But you know what? You know what I'm talking about. So he was, or they were the people actually keeping her from being like that. And I thought to myself, if she actually needed them like that, again, she still, yeah. Yeah.
And if you stick with that for Missandei to say Dracarys right before she was killed, then, I mean, clearly she was about to tear shit up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Also, another thing, they were like, well, Cersei having the death that she did.
They gave her a peaceful ass death. Fuck that. That shit still pisses me off.
Okay, you know what? I will say that. That has been my one gripe with it. Was I felt like Cersei needed she needed some more comeuppance.
Yeah.
She needed to feel every piece of dying.
Yeah, you got Missandei getting decapitated in front of everybody. Cersei gets to die. She got crushed by rocks, but still, they gave her a nice little death scene.
Yeah, at least they gave you a little bit of satisfaction in the finale. At least I got to see a crumpled up body.
Yeah.
Now that you say it, so like you were saying before, it was just a testament to how well she played the character, kind of like, the actor who actually played King Joffrey. This dude still needs security.
Yeah,
he has not been playing
crazy.
that character for a few years and still needs security.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I thought it was poignant, but I kind of hated it as well, that basically Missandei began and ended her life in chains. I did not really care for that. It was just like, damn, did you have to put in chains? Okay, yeah, cut her head off. I get that. That needed to further the story.
She only ended up that way because her goddamn leader going into battle all gung-ho for no goddamn reason.
I still don't understand that, because Sansa told her. Whether Sansa was being
everybody told her.
Yeah. It was like, you need to slow your roll.
Yeah.
Calm down. Let's think this through. Figure out a way to, get what you want. But your people are hurt. Your dragons are hurt. This ain't gonna work.
I don't need to do anything.
Dracarys, bitches.
Pretty much. I think that speaks to, I think like that's another way that they kind of foreshadowed that, hey, Daenerys is not who you think she is, even though she's really been this way from the beginning. If you really think about the story.
Did we not do it?
Did you? Oh, you left Jules to press all the buttons by himself?
Well, I pressed the button this time.
What?
Because I found the one that you were talking about by the wall. I never pay attention to that one.
Wow. So ain't none of the button. Okay. Well,
I actually went looking for that one.
Oh, damn it. I died laughing. Fuck. I went and got the key card, and then I was waiting for the little thingies to come up, and I turned around, and I was like, who is this jumping up here with? This is Jessica doing here. The things aren't up yet. How did she get here? Oh, Jesus.
I'm very disappointed.
Why?
That's all I have to say.
Well, there's 4 buttons total you got to press, Jessica.
Well, I know that, but he confused me with the other one before. Like, I had never paid attention to that one. I'd only done the other ones. So he was like, it's right in the wall when you come through. I was like, what the hell are you talking about?
So you ended up just going for that one and saying,
yeah, I went directly for it. I was like, okay, I'm going to find this one. But yeah, so I did not care for Cersei's death. I will say Tyrion, throwing his little pissy fit.
I thought he was going to die right then and there. Once he threw that hand down, I was like, oh, well, she's dead now.
That motherfucker say, you freed your brother and you killed the city. She looked like, bitch. And then he threw the little thing. It's just
the hand,
You could see like the little turn up in her nose, like, you think you bad.
Mm-hmm. I was like, she's already like filled with power and rage. I was like, sure, she's about to.
I did too. I thought she was going to turn around and be like, Grey Worm, handle that. Just go ahead and handle that now. Ain't nobody got time for this.
Oh, man.
You hear this? You hear my take over the world speech?
And I don't know if anybody else paid attention, but how the fuck did Arya get up there? She was just down there with the rest of the soldiers.
Hey, that's Arya. You know how she get down.
She was like, what?
I don't even know why you questioned it.
Nope, Air Arya. You don't question it.
You don't question where Arya show up.
I was like, what the fuck?
Just know that you need to get the fuck out of there.
I was like, is she finna try to kill this woman in front of everybody? What is she doing up there?
Nope, she did her part. She was like, she basically started the Jon Snow, just so you know, brother, you gonna have to be the one to kill her. Because, she came through like, I done did enough killing. Somebody else gonna have to handle this one.
Say one more word about killing my brother and I'll slit your throats. Like, what the fuck? She looked like, is this still Arya?
Okay, can somebody explain to me what the hell just happened? Jules, did you have the same issue I was having?
No, not at all. I mean, my whole rhythm was thrown off at an earlier part in this. So
sorry to hear that. I did not know half the people who were on that particular, like, they were like the houses of Westeros, or the most powerful houses of Westeros. Who the fuck were those people?
Yeah. All right. So there's ones that were just obvious from season 8, like who they were. Like, Brienne, Sam,
yes.
Sansa and Bran and all that. The guy who gave the speech was Edmure Tully. He was the guy. You remember they traded him, I want to say, for Robb, and he was like somebody's prisoner. Like, instead of being,
damn it,
he was he was supposed to instead of Robb marrying the Frey's daughter at the Red Wedding, it was supposed to be him. So instead of killing him with everybody else, they just put him in jail. So he's been in like the Frey's dungeon, I guess, until Arya killed him. Yeah, that was him trying to make his little Barack Obama hope and change speech before Sansa shut him down. Just sit your ass down. You are definitely not the king.
Yeah, so Sansa was just a little ruthless talk on that panel. Like when she down talk Bran for that time, I was like, ain't nobody say nothing about Bran. No, I remember they had some memes there like nobody Sansa, Bran, your dick don't work. Like what does that have to do with anything? Why are you down talking Bran?
Sansa went in there with one thing on her mind. She was like, ain't gonna be no king
in the North.
We establish I'm the queen of the North.
Yeah.
After that, you can do whatever you want. You can make Joffrey king again for all she damn cared.
I really thought that Tyrion's little speech was good, and I liked it, the story.
So I have a question about Tyrion's speech and Grey Worm in particular. Grey Worm told him.
Are you talking about?
I'm talking about the speech when he was trying to make when he suggested Bran as king.
Okay.
So when they first got in there, Grey Worm hit him with there would be no challenge today.
Yeah.
You don't talk.
Hey.
And then it just ended up talking any damn way.
The entire time.
That's all I had to say about that.
I was talking about his speech to
John.
To John, yeah.
Yeah.
Because John was just like, I don't know what to do, man.
No, I don't think John was like, I don't know what to do. John was like, I'm not going to kill her because I said she's my queen.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he made the decision really to kill her, honestly, until he got in that room.
And she was still going.
She was still going ham, like, we're about to liberate the world.
They don't get a choice.
Yeah.
I thought he made it when he was getting ready to walk out and Tyrion asked him, what does he think his sisters would do? Because they're not going to bend the knee. And he was like, they'll be loyal to their queen. And he knew that wasn't going to be the case.
Yes, those lovely ladies will not be doing that. I did see today that they're not going to do what I thought they were probably going to do. They're going to milk the rest of the series dry as much as they can. But I thought that they would do, I know that they were supposed to be other series that were in development, but they're both going to be prequels. I thought they were going to do like spin-off shows of what happens next. It kind of sucks to me that John doesn't get to be above his station and be who he was born to be.
I'm going to challenge that assertion. I believe John is the king of the North.
Mm-hmm.
The North, like north of the wall, king of the North, like king of the wildlings.
Yeah, I get that. But
I mean, they said they're sending him to Castle Black or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, the way he goes out there, like it's not necessary for him to go with them into the wilderness.
Yeah, but it wasn't necessary for him to stay at the Night's Watch either. So
I mean, if he was really going to be a member of the Night's Watch, that's where he would be, though. So I think that John ends up being, I call him king of the North. Sansa is clearly queen of the North. Arya is going to do her thing in whatever is west of Westeros. That's the West. And Bran is obviously, the king of the Six Kingdoms and the Three-Eyed Raven. And he's a conniving little bastard if you really think about it.
Well, I mean, it all started with him. So It makes sense to end it with him as well. So I get that. It's a boring ending to a great fantasy, honestly.
I mean, but that's if you're just looking at Bran as an ending. Like, I think you got to take the whole thing as the end of the story.
Well, I don't know. Because, I mean, they left out Lady Stoneheart and so many other characters that I think could have been great. And maybe that would have made more sense or just kind of gave, that little bit of to people that they were looking for. Because that's really what they were looking for. So I guess they were expecting, another Red Wedding type thing. And there are in the books, but we've passed that point. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Season 8 there is no book.
Yeah. I
still feel like it was true to what Game of Thrones is, because to me, Game of Thrones has never been about one person. And you know what I think? Everything that I've said today, I think I just had an epiphany. Game of Thrones has never been a story about one person or one family. And I think everybody got tied up in one person, whether that was Daenerys, whether it was Jon Snow, whether it was whoever. And the ending that we got was the end to the story. It wasn't the end of one person's story. It was the end of the Seven Kingdoms story.
Oh, yeah, the game of the...
It was the end of the Game of Thrones, but it wasn't necessarily the end where Daenerys is the hero or where Jon is the hero of the story or even the focus of the story.
Crazy part is it ironically made Cersei seem rather prophetic. She said whoever plays the Game of Thrones, you either win or you die. And everybody who played pretty much died. The only person, Bran didn't play. He didn't play. Jon didn't play.
I don't know, man. I feel like Bran played the long game.
Well, yeah, he played the game outside of the game. He was playing the macro game while everybody else was playing the micro game.
Yeah, Bran was like, y'all worried about sitting on the Iron Throne. I'm already on my throne, and they're going to wheel it from, we're going to wheel my throne all the way from Winterfell.
Isn't that kind of weird, though?
Hey, man, you put that thing on a trailer, hitch it up to a horse, go wherever you want to go.
What I did want to ask Jules specifically, how did you feel when they laughed at your prediction?
That was not my prediction. I don't remember who predicted that democracy, but my reaction was the same as theirs when somebody somebody in the group chat said, I think they're going to have a democracy.
I think it was
literally, when I read it, laughed out, like for real life, started laughing out loud. Like, that is not happening. If it's one thing I knew was not going to happen, it was democracy in Westeros.
They didn't have to laugh at Samuel like that. We should let the dogs get a vote too.
Yeah, they did. They did.
Like, what?
They absolutely had to laugh, man. Come on, come on, man. You can't have a democracy in Westeros. We done killed all these people just to have a democracy. Nah, we could have been did that. They could have killed Cersei 2 years ago and had elections.
Well, they didn't. They couldn't kill Cersei until they started construction. What are you talking about? The only way you can kill Cersei.
The Red Keep been built. They could have collapsed that basement 16 years ago. They didn't have to wait on that at all.
There were a few things that people felt like they didn't really tie up some loose ends on things. And I think, honestly, a lot more of it is done in, exploration in the books. George R.R. Martin has already said that, hey, they had so many hours to get this done and whatnot. Like he said himself, I'm working on something that's got like a 3,000-page manuscript. So,
oh my goodness,
it's just like, Jesus.
He's gonna die before he finishes book.
Well, I mean, that's how it is, though. That's always how it is when you go from a book to a TV show or to a movie. Even with the first, let's say, the original seasons that were based on books that are available, it's the same thing. There was so much that was cut out.
Yeah.
But you always get like a finer detail. Yeah. You always get finer looks into the mindset of the characters. It's just not going to translate over to the show.
Yeah, very much so. Another thing that I thought was very interesting is how they fucked up again and left water bottles in this shit. And people were able to catch it in the last scenes.
I don't think they're catching it. I think people are looking.
People need to get a life, though.
Not necessarily because they're in areas where it's not hard to spot. That coffee cup was terrible. Yeah. That was just like right there. The bottles.
I didn't see the coffee cup. I didn't see I wasn't looking at their feet.
It reminds me of The Walking Dead when the zombie extra was drinking a water bottle in the background. Yeah, supposed to be a zombie, but he was in the crowd drinking a bottle of water. It was a horde of zombies, and one was just drinking a bottle of water. Instead of
you had to Where's Waldo, that dude. I feel like they're doing the same thing. Somebody's going through these episodes, freezing every frame, looking at that joint from top to bottom.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. I mean, I can't even say it's horrible that it's in there. I don't know. That to me, it's not a big deal. To me, you might as well call it an Easter egg. Like the coffee cup, I feel like somebody might have actually seen that and they were like, you know what? We're just going to leave that in there and let Game of Thrones trend on Twitter a little bit longer over this coffee cup.
Starbucks and money.
If it was something like what was that the Lord of the Rings? What was it that had like a vehicle in the background or some shit? It was like some Middle Earth thing. They had like a car or something there in the background. Like if it was something like that, then I'd be like, oh yeah, you fucked up.
Oh yeah, I agree with that. You got a shot of Drogon flying in the Southwest Airlines come through. Then I'm like, okay, come on, guys.
I do wonder how like often shit like that, like they have to deal with like either reshoots or have to edit shit out because of that. How often that happens.
I honestly feel like stuff like that happens pretty often, especially for like those battle scenes or scenes where it's a whole lot of extras. Because you can't necessarily control what the extra gonna do. Yeah. Like you might have an extra who kid got in trouble at school and their phone start ringing. I mean, you got to answer the phone for your kid's school, whether they filming this scene or not. Maybe nobody noticed till it was time to edit, and you end up with you end up with Walder Frey talking on the iPhone in the background on the show. Who knows? I don't know.
Another thing that I thought was interesting is I guess kind of like foreshadowing for people when, they talk to the stars about what they felt about the series and how they thought it would end. A lot of them are going, and I don't understand. Okay, you can't really go by Tyrion. Tyrion has this deadpan ass look all the time, and he sounds like.
Oh yeah, when he answered the question, I think he was definitely being sarcastic, but I don't think he was being sarcastic about the writing. I think he was being sarcastic in a way, saying like, "Oh yeah, sure, they're the greatest writers in the world. Everybody's going to be 100% satisfied." I think he was being sarcastic in the sense that you're never going to satisfy everybody anyway, so. Who cares?
You just can't go by him and his emotions or expressions that he does. He's just that type of person. Emilia Clarke's was a little bit more kind of, I guess, telling or whatnot, but she already said that she really didn't care for the way it actually went down. She would have liked something different. But I think anybody who is playing somebody, you don't align with them necessarily, and then when you do align with them, you're like, okay, that's right, and then they go, nope, let's go this way.
Yeah, let's go a different way.
Yeah, I think everybody will kind of be like that. So you really can't put a lot into it. But Sophie Turner, who is Sansa, actually put out a great, she was just like, it's just completely disrespectful, not only to the writers, but to the actors that you claim to so love in this series, to sit there and put out these petitions and say that what we're doing is crap. It's just like, well, how do you think that's going to actually play out to someone who's doing this? This is their livelihood that you say you love and then trash and shit on. So
yeah,
I like that.
Okay. I didn't know she did that. I think that's true. I think that's true. And I would hope that the actors and the writers view people taking the time to even do something like that. I hope that they understand that it's just because people really love the show and they got really involved with certain characters and they were unhappy to see that character didn't turn out how they wanted. But I think that it doesn't actually mean that the show sucked or that the writing sucked or that anything was trash about it. All in all, I say it was very well done. I was pretty much satisfied with everything. The only gripe I have is a gripe about Cersei, getting crushed without having like some kind of fantastical death. But again, that's just me being upset that something didn't go how I wanted to. It didn't mean that the way she died sucked, because it was actually like she died in the arms of the person that she loved. She died realizing that everything she had done was wrong, even though she was defiant up until the end. Like she died realizing that everything I did was a total failure.
Yeah.
Like my whole life has been a failure.
How often does like one of the historic shows like actually end the way people want it to? A lot of times it does end on like notes that the watcher is not happy with. I mean,
right.
Of course you got like, there are some that didn't. Breaking Bad ended on a good note, but it's rare. It doesn't actually happen as often as you think.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Think of great shows, you think they all end. I'm not even going to bring up The Sopranos, but
yeah. That's what I mean. I can say that at least they didn't do that shit.
Mm-hmm.
You talk about somebody need to redo something. They need to put out like a 15-minute post credits for The Sopranos. Just tell me what happened. That's all we need to do.
That shit still pisses me off to this day.
Oh man, I had put so much time and energy into that fucking show for that to be the end. Yeah.
I'm glad I didn't. I didn't really watch it that much. I just happened to see the finale, and I knew that was a horrible, horrible mistake.
Brightburn or Aladdin? Which one are you seeing first?
I think I'm going to see Brightburn first.
Brightburn?
Yeah, I'm going to see Brightburn first. That one just seems a little bit more interesting to me. I'm not excited about Will Smith. I'm not excited about the additional prince from wherever he's from. I don't know. I'm just really not excited with some of the things that I've seen from the previews and stuff. So that's not to say that I won't see it. I will eventually see it, but
I'm the same way. I'm going to see it. I know
it's not my top priority.
Yeah. I will say we're finally getting our run of like big movies that are coming out all at once. Yeah, do it. John Wick 3, Aladdin. You got Godzilla next week.
Has everybody seen John Wick 3?
I have not yet.
You have not? Okay. I am curious about your thoughts when you do see it, particularly Halle Berry, and I'm going to leave it at that.
Can I say mine?
Go for it. Go for it.
Zavala was kicking ass in John Wick 3. I'll just say that. And that also says my assessment of Halle Berry.
All right. So definitely we'll be discussing that hopefully on the next episode, because I'm definitely curious to know what everybody thinks about that.
Especially since in the time that she was in there, she actually broke her ribs doing stunts on that.
Well, I saw her training and I was like, just like a little ninja out there. Good gosh. She moves pretty well.
I don't know. I haven't seen her training, but I heard about it. One of my friends who is a police officer was like, oh, she could be on the SWAT team. I'm like, dang, okay.
Yeah, those training videos, I was like, good gosh. Halle?
The dogs were amazing, though. I will say that.
Yeah, I definitely enjoyed the dogs. Hopefully they make a recurring appearance.
I will say I enjoyed the movie thoroughly. Keanu Reeves was Keanu Reeves, but it was everything I wanted it to be.
I heard the raid guys were pretty good.
Oh,
the guys that were in the raid.
That's my review of the raid guys. That was it right there. Because I don't want to spoil a movie for you because you haven't seen it.
No, I got you.
So I'm trying not to say too much about what's going on.
So I don't know if any of you guys know or have actually kind of even looked at it. The stuff with Huawei?
Yes, I absolutely want to talk about that. Huawei, man. I mean, they might be spying on us. Like, I kind of feel like It's very likely that they are.
Yeah.
And we probably should not have their products for sale in the U.S. So, I mean, some of you may have heard Huawei is a company that is maybe not necessarily owned by the Chinese government, but they are definitely funded and backed by the Chinese government. There's a manufacturer of several different types of electronic devices. I've seen televisions from them, cell phones, computers, just all kind of stuff.
They actually are the number 2 maker of cell phones in the world, supplier of cell phones, and they're a little bit above Apple.
My bad, Jules.
They're a little bit above Apple and right behind Samsung. What the fuck just happened here?
Everybody's
okay, never mind.
I think I blocked Jules' view of the giant laser coming at him. And I jumped out the way at the last second and he died. And then I stopped paying attention because I felt sorry for what I did.
Okay. So that being said, Trump actually put out an executive order banning businesses from doing business with Huawei because it has been found out that they possibly could have been spying on us through the phones and through their actual mobile network and just the infrastructure that they've actually put up.
So, yeah, they do also provide parts for mobile networks. So I think, all of the major U.S. carriers, I can't say all of them, but the major U.S. carriers have confirmed that they are currently not using Huawei technology and they won't be using it in the future for that reason. I know that there was actually T-Mobile ended up suing Huawei when they did carry their devices maybe 2 or 3 years ago because one of their engineers actually stole like some testing technology from the company. So there's a record of Huawei not necessarily being the most trustworthy business out there. So I think it's the right move. I'm surprised that Google, what is a couple of things that's happened with that? So Google initially was going to stop allowing them to license Android for their devices. That has changed recently a little bit. Apparently, as part of this trade war that Trump has going on with China, they raised concerns about the treatment of Huawei, and that's given a little bit of room for Google to back off of preventing Huawei from using Android. So they're now saying they're going to monitor Huawei for the next 90 days before they determine whether or not to actually prevent them from using Android on their cell phones.
I mean, at that point, Huawei actually already said that, hey, if you guys stop doing business with us, we have like a stockpile of at least 3 months of things to keep us going. Also, they were like, okay, well, for the most part, when we say Android is an open source technology. It's something that is open to pretty much everyone as long as you do development through, their means, their way, and things like that. The only difference is when you run that open source, it's basically like a blank canvas. It needs apps and infrastructure from Google, such as Google Services, Google Play Store, and things like that to continue to work as, the consumer knows it. As I said, it would just make for a poor experience. Another thing that Huawei could do is to come out with their own technology based off of this and try to rival Google, which would also be a little bit undoable because it's like
they would have no access to apps at all. So even
they would make their own apps, but
yeah, we saw how that worked for Microsoft
and Intel.
But then what would you do is just like, yeah, we have our own apps. Okay, why can't I get Netflix? It's because at that point, no U.S. company is doing business with you because of everything that's happened. So it's just like, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't in that situation. And also what I didn't know, I completely forgotten about this, but a similar thing happened to ZTE and basically kind of shut them down. But I'm wondering, would it even have an impact? This is number 2 in the world.
I don't think you're going to have much of an impact in the U.S. because in the U.S., they're nowhere near the pot. Market share is very small. The only devices that were out there in the U.S. really, other than people who, bought an unlocked device on their own in the U.S. were like what
techies.
We would call phone first devices. Like the devices that would be in the hands of a lot of people are just a little, like your little track phone. Like somebody might be out there with a flip phone that was made by Huawei. And it's not a device where they would necessarily gather much information if they were trying to spy on somebody.
Well, they did make laptops as well. And they weren't half bad. So I'll say that. But
they weren't good either.
That's true. It's just I think, like what you were saying, most of these people who had these were probably like techies and things like that. And hopefully they know how to use this and what they need to do necessarily if they are wanting to change from Huawei.
Yep. So I actually have the solution for you guys. If anybody's using a Huawei device and you are concerned that the Chinese government may be spying on you, what you do is you take that device, throw it in the trash, and buy a new phone. That's the solution.
Yeah, pretty much about right. Oh,
I will also say it does kind of put a damper on what we were talking about previously for the folding phone market.
Oh, yeah, for the folding phones. Yeah.
Because I was excited to see what they were going to come out with, considering everything that happened with the Samsung phone. And theirs just looked to be a little bit more, honestly, exciting. I wanted to see it. I was really interested in it. And now I'm just like, so you was just watching me the whole time, be excited about that?
Just as interested as you were in that phone was just as interested in your TikTok messages and your bank account information.
Pretty much. So I think it just kind of lends this here to kind of downgrading possible innovation in that market, because no one's going to be wanting to spend like, what was it, $1,000 or $2,000 on that phone?
For the phone, it was, $2,000.
Yeah. For something that's going to be spying on them. It's like, come on.
Yeah.
So
it just like feels cheaper now.
I mean, I will admit that people if that phone was $200, it'd definitely be some people like, well, I mean, you know,
everybody's spying on me anyway.
Mm-hmm. I just won't put my bank account app on there, and they can look at my Instagram all they want to.
Tell them to like it like I do too.
Yeah.
Double tap.
I don't care if they know where I'm, if they're using my GPS to figure out where I'm at, they're not going to do nothing to me.
I'm posting where I'm at anyway.
I just worked at the local 7-Eleven,
But I just found it interesting. So you have this issue with Huawei, and then you had the issue with the Movie Pass company, Cinema, whichever one you want to call it. Pretty much kind of doing the same thing.
Cinema.
That was the Fire Festival. That shit.
Fire Festival of...
Yes. So what I did not know is how they started treating people at the end of
that wasn't available in Texas, right?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was. It was available. It was everywhere. Yeah, you could get it.
Yeah. So initially,
all the shit I kept seeing was like California and stuff. I never saw the one for Texas.
So initially, it started out pretty much like the Movie Pass, and in the end, they just started doing some outlandish ass shit. Like, oh yeah.
So what was it that they were doing? I will admit that I'm not as familiar with some of the stuff that they were doing.
Oh, okay. So in the beginning, you signed up. It was pretty much like Movie Pass. And you got your card. You were able to get movies and things like this. The only thing that was a little bit different with them is that you could see IMAX movies. You could do packages for 2 people or 3 people and things like that. You could also check in from your house, which is one of the complaints that a lot of people had about Movie Pass. You could get tickets in advance, things like that. So it was appealing to a lot of people. The bullshit started coming when it seemed like they were about to get shut down and they just went for a cash grab. So everything that was pretty much already standard for older people or older customers, they then started trying to add in as fees. So you want that card like such and such got? Oh, okay, that'll be $24.95. Just for the okay.
$24.95 to get the card?
Yes, just for the card. Oh, wow. You just signed up for this and you want to use it now? That'll be $10 to use it.
That'll be $8
immediately.
That'll be $28.
What?
Wow.
Oh,
okay. So they were just.
Oh no, it does not stop there. Oh yeah, you want to do monthly? Yeah, you can do monthly if you pay us $40 first. Otherwise, you're gonna pay us the entire $400 up front for this monthly. What?
Okay, so Cinemia was just a cash grab.
Pretty
clearly.
Much.
All right. So
then,
it
was not stop.
Oh, you still going? I thought.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So then they started putting ads in the app. They also added glitches in there so you would not be able to use it at certain period. Then they added the glitches.
Okay.
Yes.
At least Movie Pass was up front with it. Like, hey, that movie is too popular. No,
they added the glitches so you would not be able to use it.
Wow.
Then this was the kicker. Not only are they asking for all this to begin with, they start putting in, you know how when you do like a charge from somewhere. They're like, would you like to add a tip? This is in the app.
In the app? Who am I tipping?
In the app.
What am I tipping for?
For the convenience fee.
And that's the last thing. So
I've heard they had convenience fee, like you still paid a fee.
Yeah.
When you bought a ticket.
Yeah. So not only do you pay for that, but you also pay the convenience fee that you would have paid. It's like, what the fuck? Yeah, they were on some other shit. And then they boosted all this. They were like, okay, we'll get rid of this. We'll get rid of that. Just, pay the fee and you can get in. So they did all of this. Yes. All of this right before Avengers Endgame. And the day it comes out, they were like, oh, we out of business. Didn't even send their customers emails.
Wow. Just nope. Don't work no more. Good luck.
And a lot of people did not know this because they didn't read their terms of service when they did that. They have clauses in there that even though if they did something like that, you cannot sue them.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's a little known evil of pretty much all end user agreements, unfortunately. You have agreed to arbitration, no lawsuits.
No, not arbitration. Not even arbitration. No, not even arbitration. It is, you cannot ask for your money back. You will just take this and shove it.
Not pass go.
Wow.
Yes. They also put where if you even reviewed it with a lawyer, that is possibility of being sued by them. So they were based in Turkey.
So even if you had a problem, like some of the stuff it sounds like they were doing was probably illegal anyway. There was no one for them to answer to.
No recourse. Yeah. So they had customer service lines and all kinds of stuff like that no one ever answered. Left you on hold so long that people forgot that they were even on there and then pick up the phone and hang up.
Wow. That is terrible. I mean, there's no good for sending me. There's not really any good news for MoviePass, but I am glad that those services, or at least the premise of those services, force a movie chains to do something that I do like. So, for example, Stubbs, A-List Premiere, I do like how that works. It seems that they've managed to come up with a sustainable model for it to where you're allowed to see 3 movies per week instead of just unlimited movies. And it does include like IMAX or Dolby Cinema or whatever. I think that for somebody like me who goes to see movies a lot or would like to see movies a lot, that's worked out so much better. I think it works better for the movie industry as a whole. Like I think a lot more people are seeing a lot more movies because I mean, there's a lot of movies that I would not normally go see that I went and saw just because I had this subscription, that $20 a month, I can go see 12 movies.
I get it.
So I appreciate MoviePass. Not sending me in so much. Fuck them.
Ain't that some bullshit?
Yeah, that is some bull. Cool Black Nerd Podcast episode number 5. We're going to go ahead and shut this thing down. Thank you guys for listening. I think we need to focus so that we can accomplish this goal tonight. Hit us up.
Yes.
Facebook, Instagram.
Well, we are on Instagram. We haven't actually done anything necessarily on Instagram, but Say What Radio, that is a network, and you can leave all your comments, questions, anything on there. We'll be posting like little snippets and everything as we usually do. But as always,
do we have as always? I don't think we have that yet.
As always, please continue to follow us on social media. Say What Radio for all platforms, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all that jazz. Again, thank you for tuning in. As always, the biggest compliment you guys can give us is to really, really, really share, like, subscribe, review the show on iTunes, Google Play, thumbs up on Facebook, everything. Tell your family, friends about the show. We may not be everybody's cup of tea, but hey, let them listen and we can come to an agreement. You like this, don't like this, but that was funny. Yes, it was. Thank you for tuning in. Catch us next week. Same bat time, same bat channel.
I'm dying in this fucking fucked up town. Shit flying in my mouth. Let's get the fuck out of this country, mother. The fuck is that?
Say what again?